I give my allegiance to no one. Then fill your lungs with fire.
Come on, big money, big money, big money, big money, big money, big money. No, big money, big money, big money. Come on. Yes! I am invincible! This is what Galaxy is looking like for the next couple months, in case you guys did not get the memo on the Datacrons. Today we're talking about not so much the attacker crons, although I'm pretty sure after their first week of Grand Arena, everyone's on the same page that the attacker Datacron is going to be making things, let's just say, more or less mucho interesante. It's essentially giving that credit support cron, but for your entire roster. Gee willikers, Batman, that sounds like it's going to be crazy. And it already has been. A lot of funny combos out there, but I'm not focusing so much on this. I want to focus today, at least, what people should be doing, because let's just say, especially free-to-play folks out there, you're feeling the pain of not having the Wampa crons in your veins. Can we have a moment of silence? All right, that was too long of a moment of silence. It was a big deal for a lot of people, and people are kind of wondering, all right, who's going to be our free-to-play savior for this upcoming season, or current season, I should say, and the upcoming season? Well, people, it's funny, just the other day, someone was asking, man, can we have a Galactic legend Boba Fett? And I'm like, man, yeah, I can see that maybe happening. Daimyo of Tatooine, Boba Fett, right? Because the one we have, Boba Fett's not a Jango. Well, that was the Mandalorian version of Boba Fett. I think there's a big opportunity, but this is, I think, the closest we can get to a more legendary feeling Boba Fett. This Datacron, I said in my initial Datacron review, I have my little spreadsheet in case you guys, I'm like, hey, this looks pretty good. It's got some good stats, even if we don't care about Boba Fett. I think we need to be caring about Boba Fett, because this guy is tearing apart so many teams. I got a lot of gameplay of, I guess you can call it testing, on both my free-to-play account and my main account. Having some fun times with this, just to kind of give us a little bit of a heads up before we start showing a ton of gameplay and why. If you can find the episode currency and sacrifice all your Omicrons and Gartic and all the good stuff, this can help you, especially in the era of Relic Delta that we're in. Maybe help you get more offensive and defensive wins. Boba Fett dispels all debuffs on allies and grants them defense up, heal over time, and speed up. And keep in mind, we got some pretty durable damage on this guy, too. I want to remind you that on that right-hand side of the stat. And this is where things get very interesting. I just want to get to the main gist of it. At the start of battle, Boba Fett is in the leader slot. All allies gain 200% defense. Very tough to chop through them. Whenever an enemy takes damage from thermal detonators, which is going to be a lot, you're going to get tons of health, protection, cover, gaining 10% turn meter, and there's an 80% chance the enemy's afflicted with a thermal detonator for one turn, which can't be dispelled or prevented. And you got other good stuff. You know, Dengar is going to be able to apply doubt at the very beginning. Yeah, that's kind of tough to work through. And then Zam, remember, Zam's got an Omicron. Even if you don't have the Omicron on Zam, I'm going to show you, she's still doing some very gnarly stuff. She gets the revive if she gets defeated. Yeah, that's kind of complicated to work through. And she's always critically hitting, which is going to cause problems for things like Enoch, for example. And anytime she's applying a thermal detonator, she's going to be stacking defense and offense for the rest of the encounter. And if you have the Omicron, I believe that's going to translate to even more stats for the rest of the team. So anyways, let me go roll some gameplay for you guys. This is a collection of what I've been doing for the past weekend of Grand Arena, and yeah, let's just say I start off on the lights. I'm like, okay, maybe gas can work. There's a lot of buffs on the team. Well, the problem is, yeah, there's a lot of buffs on the Boba Fett team, but they have a lot of durability because that level 9 on the Boba Fett Cron, and you also get 75% defense on the stats, and you got a crud ton of offensive stuff. Yeah, it was kind of hard for gas to work through. You know, I don't know, maybe if we had Sexy Rexy, maybe we could have maybe got an aerial advantage and stopped the revive on Zam and Boba. Well, I don't even know if that would be the case. So I was like, all right, you know, let's just see. I want to see the pressure that Boba Fett can put on me. So, long story short, yeah, Anakin didn't make it. Wah, wah. Well, I was like, okay, Enoch, right? Well, I forgot the part that Zam is always going to be critically hitting, and she's going to be sniping left and right with her basic ability, triggering all of those thermal detonators. And if she's using her basic, she's gonna be able to crit. And I was like, there's no problem, right? Look, Boba Fett can't crit. We're fine. But Zam, kind of a whole different breed of animal. I'm like, wow, my team is disappearing left and right. So Even I was hoping I can get through Enoch cheese. It wasn't looking good. Even if I couldn't be critically hit, I'm not sure if it was going to look too good. I'm like, all right, let's try Tuskens. Well, the problem is Boba Fett, as we just read a moment ago, well, he's going to cleanse debuffs. So damage over times, the stuns, mild inconvenience, and being the evil person that I am, they're just hollow characters, right? They don't have wives and husbands and families, right? They're just digital characters. I wanted to see them get absolutely slaughtered. I'm sure there's someone in the crowd, maybe the last name of Skywalker, potentially first name Anakin. You're gonna get a lot of enjoyment out of this. Yeah, Tuskens, no chance. Even though there was a lot of turn meter from all those thermal detonators going off, mild inconvenience, and that's stretching it. And I'm like, all right, we're gonna really up the ante. Let's just throw Maz Kanata, right? She's taking down Lord Vader. I'd say we're pretty optimistic with her. Well, yeah. Let's just say things are not looking all that good for even Maz Kanata. Again, the biggest problem is just like trying to push through all of that initial durability that Boba has. I was hoping to maybe get myself to a death mark. We'd be done. Moving on. No. Look, we're trying to lay down the hammer. And then once those thermal detonators start piling on, well, we're kind of going the wrong way now. Boba Fett's going to drop his big ability blocks in us. And man, oh man, look at that. Crazy damage on Athano and GG's at that point. And I'm like, okay, certainly this is going to be time. Baylan Skull's gonna get the job done. We got anti-revives. Not like I was able to kill Boba Fett or Zam a single time up until now, but in the case I did finally get Boba Fett and Zam taken down, we'd be golden. The problem is, again, Zam being able to crit all the time, making those thermal detonators hit even harder. And then once Shin is down, I'm like, well, I guess I'm still flying 2/3 of a ship here. Well, doesn't really matter at this point. I can't do any damage without Shin, it feels like, and I can't work my way through Boba Fett, and inevitably the thermal detonators are gonna be calling home, my friends. And yeah, not making it far. And again, yeah, stuns seem nice, right? But if Boba Fett's cleansing, that honestly might be the biggest thing. Like, you think you can maybe stun him, you know, kind of hold him in place. Nothing. And finally, it's like, you know what? Let's just try Bane. And I'm not gonna lie. Oh, spoiler. Bane does pull off the win here. I was getting a little scared. I was like, okay, we're gonna be fine, right? We're gonna be good. Now, really curious to see if there's gonna be a more effective way to beat this guy. I am assuming if you happen to be chock full of attacker crons, and the unfortunate thing about attacker crons, you need a lot of resource, a lot of reroll materials, and a lot of RNG on your side to get a lot of attacker crons. But you know, the point I'm trying to show here, this is my free-to-play account, and mind you, this isn't even Zam Omicron. And I think even without that, the team is doing so darn good. My Jabba team was struggling. I think if there was an Omicron on Zam, I think my Jabba would have lost. This is why I want to show this, because yeah, attacker crons, I think, especially in bulk, is going to be out of reach for most players. So it's kind of like the core problem of data crons I have, but exacerbated because of the sheer amount of RNG and luck you need to get those level 6 data crons. I think this is going to be as close as we can get to a Wampa style data cron. Of course, not a solo team, but on the upside, you can use Boba Fett on offense and defense. Wampa was solely an offensive tool, and I think, especially in 3v3, maybe even 5v5, you know, we were looking for a nice, simple way of beating Jabbas, for example. Like my free-to-play account, without the Wampa cron, I was finding myself, well, kind of left out. It's like, what am I going to use now? It feels like Jabba got infinitely more complicated. That Boba Fett cron could be the ticket, especially if you got that Zam Omicron online. And I get it, people. Generally, we're like Datacron's big bad. Of course, seasonal power. I like seasonal power the way Datacrons are. As I've said many times, I don't appreciate how difficult it is to get them. I wish Datacrons, or maybe like all of them, like Focus Crons, so you can get exactly what you want. But I digress. Even though I think a lot of people are poo-poo Datacrons, this is a Focus Datacron. It's a 9-level one instead of one of those 15-level ones that I think this is going to be. If you can only pick one free-to-play Datacron, I think this is the one to get, or you can try to play your luck and hope that you're able to nab some attacker crons, because this is going to be where the real money is. But I'm going to be real. It's going to be tough to get a bunch. As you can see, those reroll costs. Oh boy, I hit the 80s to finally get there. And I guess if I could share 2 cents, my quick, guide on how to get attacker crons, just try to get some attacker cron on the level 6. Worry about re-rolling it later. get to level 9, and then that way you guarantee to lock in the level 6 always being attacker, then go back and try to re-roll it again. Let's see if I have enough credits to even, can I get there? Let's see, like kind of show you what I mean here. We're a little bit short right now. Yeah, anyways, well, basically I would get the attacker cron, get the level 9, and then go back and try to roll. We're at the 40s. All right, I can maybe swing a 40. Then once it gets to 80, it's like, all right, well, GG's on that one there. Anyways, people, it's going to be interesting. I know it's going to be a little sleepy in terms of the new characters. I thought a lot of those new characters had great low star viability, but we have to wait till February. Datacrons are going to be interesting for better or for worse. So you got the memo, Boba Fett Cron, lock it in. I got it from my free-to-play account, so I'm practicing what I'm preaching, and I'm hoping you guys are going to be preaching the good news of the book of Boba Fett. Thank you all so much for stopping by. Make sure you smash that like button like Boba's been smashing fools this first week in Grand Arena with his Datacron. And until we meet again, always remember, it's great to be in the Empire today. To be in the Empire today. The sun never sets.